Look at that. Oh, okay. So it's ready?
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. All right. Sorry, guys. Wait for a couple to come in. Oh, I pull my hair back down. There we go. Ooh, ow. That's like jamming your thumb when you hit your machine. Hi, everyone. So tonight we are going to do block 4 in our Believe wall hanging. That would be the last block. It's the Christmas trees. And I'm just going to use a variety of fabric scraps that I have. I'm going to use this piece of ribbon that was from when I did this one. And then I'm just going to use some other fabric that I have. Remember, it doesn't necessarily have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be exact fabric, you know, green and green and green. Make it whatever colors you want. This is a real good area to use fun scrap fabrics, you know, to kind of make it look like it's a little decorated if you want. But we will get started stitching here in just a couple of minutes. We had some issues, so I want to give people a little bit of time to get in here. As you can see, I've got thread sitting out that's all ready to go. These two, the yellow and the gold, are going to be for my stars. I'm going to use this, what I call Grinch green, but it's like an apple green with this piece of fabric for one of the Christmas trees. The green will be the finishing stitch. I'm going to use this piece of fabric for the one of the other trees. And I'm going to do like a maroonish red for the finishing stitch. And then this piece of cape that I had left, I'm going to use that on my tree. And then I'm going to use my one of my favorite variegated oranges, just because I can. And then, like I showed you before, I'm using the ribbon. And for the finishing stitch, I'm going to use this, what's left of my purple. Now, you only need 4 pieces of fabric, 4 pieces of scraps. And remember, if it doesn't fit it exactly going up and down, you can turn it a little bit. Turn it, flip-flop it, whatever way you want to make it fit better. I've already got my hoop loaded and ready to go. I've got all the stitching done. I've got my batting in place. I've got my background fabric in place. The first 2 trees are stitched out. The way this particular program runs is when you get all that extra stuff done and you go to stitch out your trees, it stitches out the first tree and the third tree together. Okay. So if you are changing colors for the finishing stitch, you're going to want to pay attention so that you know when you need to stop your machine and switch out your colors if you're switching colors, like I plan on doing. So let's go ahead and get this first one stitched out. I think I might slide it up just a smidge. I did figure that, you know, since we have done so many in the hoops lately, that I could go ahead and get pretty much everything ready to go without showing y'all. Y'all see me do it. If you have any questions on how to prep your batting and stuff, because you haven't seen it in the past, just shoot me a message and I'd be glad to show y'all. All right. So you can see that it stitched out the first tree. And it immediately went over to stitch off the other tree. I did stop it. I broke thread, just so it would stop. Now, the question is, which one am I going to use? I think I'm going to use this green one first. And it is quite a big piece. I could trim it if I really wanted to. So let's just go ahead and trim it. A smaller piece. It's still big, but that's okay. You know, it's just going to stitch out. Now, this particular color stitching, when you're doing your stitch out, this color does not matter. It is going to be covered. So that's why I'm just keeping the same thread in. It will do 2 rounds of stitching. I just trimmed a little bit off that thread that was showing. Now, once it is done with this, it'll stop. You'll want to pull it out and you're going to want to trim. You're just going to want to trim around the edging like we have in the past. I didn't feel like using any foam or anything tonight. The only specialty thing I'm using really is the ribbon. Other than that, you know, it's just plain fabric. Just like it calls for. I am going to cut this piece up a little more. If you are having a hard time cutting close to the stitch line, you can gently pull up on your fabric to give you a better cut way. Just be careful not to cut your stitching. But if you happen to cut one of these stitches when you're trimming your fabric, don't panic. Finish cutting it. Stick it back in. Attach your hoop. Hit your back stitch. Mine has a little needle with a minus and plus. I hit that. I go back however many stitches I need to do, and it'll restitch it. So it should look like that. All right, so now it's going to do the placement stitch for the second tree. And again, I have not switched thread colors. Now this set of stitching is going to do the placement stitch for the last 2 trees. There's a total of 4. And I see where I forgot to cut a piece of fabric. So I'll just cut that when I do the next 2. Now I did give my machine a quick little clean out and a quick oiling. We did find out that a lot of the noise from last night's video was from this piece right here on my machine. This top piece comes off. The other day when I had given it a deep clean, I took it off, cleaned it all out. I put the screw back in, which is right here. I guess I didn't get it quite tight enough and it just loosened up as it was moving and shaking. So I figured that out this afternoon when I was in to clean. So hopefully it sounds a little better. All right, so for the last tree, I'm going to do this fabric. Now this is where you can be kind of picky on how you place your fabric, where you place it. I think I'm going to go right about there. Hopefully that kind of puts the Christmas bulbs in the center somewhat. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Jaden is downstairs tonight. She's not feeling good. So she is in the chat. And I will do my best to remember to keep checking, make sure nobody has asked any questions. If it's important, just say, Jaden, can you get, Jaden, I need to ask your mom a question, and we'll go from there. All right, so we're ready to stitch down our fabric for the last tree, which is technically the second tree. I am, however, going to take my scissors and trim this thread just a little bit. There we go. I had some out of control thread. All right. So let's do that. You could have a lot of fun with fabric if you have some character fabric like Mickey Mouse or any of the Disney, any of the millions of other movies and stuff that are out there. I do believe I would not be surprised if, or sometime this year, we see some Jurassic Park fabric because of the new movie that's coming out. And of course, we'll probably have another line, I'm hoping, from Robert Kaufman for How the Grinch Stole Christmas. All right, so now that it's all stitched out, we're just going to remove our hoop and trim around these last 2 trees. Now, when I'm cutting, I cut that first piece, then I gently pull up as I'm cutting to give it a little better room and easement for cutting. And that gives my scissors something to lean against when it's cutting. I am surprised, speaking of movies, that they made another Happy Gilmore. I'm also surprised that they actually made another Jurassic Park. Now, we love Jurassic Park in this family, but, I've heard things and bad things about it. Just gonna snip that top piece right there. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to cut this one little tiny piece of fabric. There we go. And okay. Now I do have that extra piece of ribbon I need to cut. Now with the ribbon, I try not to cut super, super close just because it frays and it pulls up pretty easy when you're stitching. But I don't want too much out either because then it won't get caught with the finishing stitch. All right, that'll have to do for now. Do a quick brush. All right, so this is where we are going, well, not right this second. The next part is we're going to stitch all 4 of the trunks of the tree. For that, I am going to change colors. Oh, here it is. And I'm just going to use this dark brown. It's just regular old dark brown. I figured with everything else going on with the trees, a plain dark brown would be the safest. I'm sure you do want a plushie of all the dinosaurs. Ooh, there's a Mortal Kombat 2 coming out? I didn't realize that. I don't know if they'll have fabric of it, but that would be pretty cool if they did. I do like Mortal Kombat. I just go coffee all over me. All right. Now this stitch out, you know, it's a little long. It's only 3 minutes though. The last of the stitching, the finishing stitches around all the trees, that takes about 9 minutes each. It will take mine longer, strictly because I'm changing colors on all of them. On the pattern on my machine, it shows it being 2 trees of the same color. So we've got 2 color changes, technically. But I'll have 4. And if you notice, if y'all do this and you notice, take a look at the trunks because the trunks have little designs of it has little squiggly lines going down like tree bark does. It's an interesting detail. That's the one thing that I like about Designs by Juju is that they put little tiny details in the stitching that unless you're looking at it, you're not going to notice. And yes, I still have a runny nose. I don't know, maybe I'm coming down with a cold. I had a rough night of sleep. So I don't know. We shall see. And I do have a slight cough. Whether that's from me being a smoker, I don't know. I don't usually have a cough unless I'm getting a cold. All right. We're almost done with the tree trunks. I had to think about the word. And then there'll be a little piece of thread left on the stitching. Just trim it. It's not a big deal. I do have to say that I have quite enjoyed doing my lives. Even though we've had issues with pretty much every vibe, I've really enjoyed doing them. And I have come to the conclusion that the only way I'm going to get any better at this YouTube thing is to keep doing the lives. And I am going to get back to making videos and posting them. There should be one posted sometime tomorrow. It's just going to be a short video. And then I do have another video coming up after that. I'm not sure if we're going to have it posted tomorrow or if it's going to be a Saturday. But there should be 2 videos coming from me. And then I do plan on unlocking my lives. I've just got to go through them. There's some stuff that needs to be removed. All right, we got one more tree trunk to stitch out, and then I believe we're gonna start stitching out the trees. This particular panel takes a total of 58 minutes to stitch out completely. However, if your machine is faster, it will take less time. I have a slower machine, so mine takes a little longer. Also, you have to add in the times that you cut and all that. That adds time. The 58 minutes for it is strictly the stitching time, nothing else. And because I'm changing colors on all 4 trees, that also adds time. So just remember when you're trying to figure out your timeline for the stitching of this whole thing, take into account that what time is shown on your machine for stitch out time is just strictly the stitching. You'll want to add, I would guesstimate 20, 30 minutes more at least. And that should cover your cutting, all your cutting extra, threading your machine, things like that. So if you're actually selling these, then make sure you add that time in to your price. Okay, we'll discuss that later. Okay, time for our first stitch out. Okay. That will be our neon green. I just want to rewind it real quick. And off we go. Now this one, I shouldn't say one. So the way this pattern is set up is the stitch out time, which is 9 minutes for this particular part, is for 2 trees. So 4.5 minutes per tree. If you don't change colors. It will do 2 zigzag type stitching around 2 turns of it, and then it'll do your finishing stitch. All right. So while we are waiting for this to finish, I do want to announce that I announced it last night, but I'll say it again tonight. That I am starting. Let me start over. My friend Angela from Quarter Inch Seams and I are going to be doing a collaboration starting next week, I believe. We are going to be each doing the Charm Pack Christmas tree pattern from Pack Order Shop. It's a free pattern. You'll only need 2 charm packs and background fabric and binding. So I'm also going to be doing the mini charm version. Hers will be red, white, and blue. Mine's going to be a scrappy version. Our goal is to show everybody that you can use this pattern in more than one way. It does not have to be strictly for Christmas just because it's a tree. Hopefully we'll be able to show you that we can make one for every holiday season. You can make one to keep up all year round. These are a great way to have your loved ones that are in like assisted living, a nursing home, any type of those type of facilities. It lets them have a little piece of home. Also, if you're in a small apartment and you don't have room, no matter what you do for a tree or that type of stuff, it's a good way to have a little decoration, have your own Christmas tree, whatever you want it to be. If you make one for every season, they're pretty easy to store. They'll store flat. For the most part, you can roll them if you need to. They're not very big at all. Speaking of storage, you could literally take all the ones you have for all your seasons, depending on how, what you make. You could take one of the skirt clamps, like the hangers that they have for skirts and pants with the little clips on them. You could take one of those, literally clip to one side, one clip to the other side, and you could hang them in your closet and use it as storage that way. I thought this green might be too much because of all the green in the fabric, but it looks really good. I'm glad I picked it. All right. Now, this is where I'm going to want to stop my machine, and I'm going to want to change out my thread because I have a different color and I want to have different colors. All right. Let's see. Purple. It doesn't hurt the design any. So don't be afraid you're going to mess up your design. It's just taking a pattern and making it your own. Oops, missed my needle. Now, I did put a fresh needle in So, and I think that's doing a lot. Now I'll go back at the end and trim all these tiny little threads off. I see that we have 4 watching. Does anybody have any questions? I do want to say that I hope everybody that is being affected by the fires in Alaska, and I believe there's fires in, I want to say Arizona. I can't remember offhand now that I'm talking about it. And those being affected by the fires in Canada, I really hope that everybody stays safe. Does it feel hot when you lay your hand over it? Is it shimmery? Just put your thread down and it'll be fine. Jade's trying to cook the grilled cheese. That's something she's not used to cooking yet. And yes, Jaden does cook. However, there are still things that I cook that she's still afraid to cook, you know. But she's learning, she's getting there. For the most part, this is a pretty easy stitch up. It's really simple. There's not a lot to do with it. And like all these, there's really not a whole lot. It's just 4 simple trees, some stars, and a couple of decorations on the trees. But when it is stitching out the decorations on the trees, pay attention to the stitching. Like I said before, each one is different. A couple of these ones are made to look like it's patchwork. Patched it in. You know, so take a notice of some of the stitching and how they added things to the stitching. That's just my daughter coming up the stairs. He's gonna grab my phone and knock it over, Jane. Oh, Lord. Did you see my message? Or did you hear me? What are you doing?
Sorry, it's been bothering me all night. The camera wasn't something.
I want it that way so they can see this side.
They can't see that side.
She said, I'm not going to be up there tonight. Set it up yourself. I set it up. And you think she left it? No.
We have 2 lights.
Hey, you want to see it?
Will you text your husband for me and remind him to bring me my...
I am busy, so stop.
You're just finishing that one? You're not making another one?
I'm busy, Jaden.
Yeah, I know, and I'm asking about
This is
it.
not the what? I don't understand what you're asking. Sorry, guys.
The trees. They
What
were
about the
hanging
tree?
up there.
This is a different one.
Well, yeah.
Guys,
is
I'm
that-
sorry. She's confusing me. Just stop. Let me finish. I don't understand what you're asking.
No,
and I'm
because
trying to
wasn't
do
that
this.
one already hanging up on the
No.
wall? Oh, okay.
God. You are not the brightest sometimes, child. All right, we're going to switch on to the color red. I was that understanding what she was asking. We're just gonna use the red on the green. And again, if you were not switching out colors, it would only take about 9 minutes for every 2 trees. I'm sorry. Yeah, 9 minutes for every 2 trees, but I like color. So how's everybody's week been? It really went by fast. I can't believe it's almost Friday. Just seems like the older you get, the faster time goes by. I think, well, this is something else. I'm just going to do a quick trim. Some of these. Little threads there. Pretty good one. Yes, I know most of them would be stitched down, but it tends to bother me, so I clip them. Okay. Now, these 2 colors I'm going to use because it shows that the stars that are around the trees are 2 different colors. Now, originally, I did it with the variegated orange and this gold. So this time I decided, because this gold matched the orange a little too close, that I would use a yellow and see how that looks. We'll see. Let me go ahead and drop the link in the chat for this pattern, and I will also drop the link for the other 2 patterns that I'm going to be doing the collaboration on with. All right, we have all of this. And let's see. I really thought I had all these saved, but apparently I don't. There we go. Alright, so this first set of links is going to be for the book along. That. Let's do this. The first link is for the charm square size. The second link will be for the mini charm. And The third will be for this particular pattern. Again, the Christmas tree patterns on Fab Quarter Shop are free. This one is on sale. So now's the time to go and get all your Christmas embroidery projects. Oh, it's not letting me go to it now. Oh, it's because I'm on the wrong site. Okay. That's what. Eventually I'll get the hang of all this. Alright, so here's the other. There's that. Now we got it. Okay. Here's the other one. And then here is the link for the leaf pattern. Okay. Oh, let me stop. We have run out of bobbin. What I get for looking. And I was going to change my bobbin, but I decided not to. Mainly because I still had quite a bit left on it. It's not a big deal. Stick this one in. I had one all ready to go because I knew it was going to happen. Okay. All right. Here we go. Now, I will say this. You will notice that when you stitch out a couple of these trees, mainly this second one, don't panic when you look down and you see that it has skipped and then stitched again and then skipped and stitched again. It is in the pattern, not that. They do that because there's going to be decoration on top of the tree. So don't panic. It's supposed to be like that. I remember the first time I stitched this out, I seriously thought my machine was broke because no matter what I did, it still did that. And then I realized that it was supposed to do that. Come see, I'm doing good. Little sore today, but pretty good for the most part. Good job.
I'm going to get a little bit.
That's okay. That's what makes them good. You did a good job.
I got my price for crap. Missing the butter.
It never tastes the
It's
same.
missing the butter.
Sorry. It's the same way I made it last time.
No.
It just doesn't taste the same because you fixed it, not me.
No,
It's
literally.
always
it does
like
not-
that.
No, it does not taste like butter.
It's not supposed to taste like this. You use what you have. And we do not have any butter in this house right now.
I'm sad.
Yeah, it's just my youngest, Jaden. She's the one that still lives at home with me. She helps take care of me, but at the same time, she's also autistic. So, you know, we take care of each other. I know you like eating your grilled cheese with chicken noodle soup.
I called Quincy.
Don't ask me.
I called Quincy too.
To me, grilled cheese to be eaten with tomatoes.
I won't like tomato too.
She doesn't like tomatoes. Doesn't it sound better now that I put the screw back in? She doesn't usually cook grilled cheese because she's afraid of the stove, the oil. And usually when she has cooked it in the past, it has, sometimes you cook a grilled cheese and it sticks to the pan no matter what you do. That's what usually happens with her. But she had successfully, for the first time, cooked the grilled cheese perfectly without it sticking.
I only got 3 slices of cheese left. Call Quincy and asked if his
Cozy says, good work.
call Quincy and asked if the kitchen was closing. He goes, "Yeah, why? What's wrong?" I'm like, "Dang it! I was really hoping for some soup. I'm not feeling good."
All right. Cozy, if you wouldn't mind, what's your actual name? What am I doing? That's not what I need to do. I need to do this. Okay. So now that all of our trees are done, you can do one of two things. You can take it out, take your hoop off, trim all those little excess threads.
I'm gonna go lay in by the maple sooner.
Or you could just leave the threads.
I love that.
So, love you too. Now we are on to the decorations. So, let's see. The first one is going to be the little on the second one. So, I think because we have the red, I don't know. Let's see. I think we're going to do the pink. Just, I don't know. Pink. Sounds good. Oh, okay. Well, welcome, Hope. There you go. Here's a tip for those of you that are having issues threading your needle with your automatic threader. Okay. If you've noticed that, you're just having a hard time with trying to get it around the little loops that it needs to go through, put your pressure foot down and then put it through and see if that helps. Now, once you put your pressure foot down, you're not going to be able to yank on the thread and get more to come out. You'll have to lift your pressure foot in order for that to happen. But sometimes it makes it a little easier. So now, what we're going to do is the second tree where it has all the indents from the stitching, all the open spaces. It's going to stitch a ribbon, 1, 2, 3, 4 ribbons, across it. Now, this is where you could have fun because each ribbon has a different design on it. So you could use different colors for all 4 ribbons if you really wanted to. I think just for tonight's sake, I'm going to use the one color. But I literally just thought about, oh, wait, I could have used 4 different colors on my Christmas tree. The same thing with this third one. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 different stitchings on this one tree. You could literally use 6 different colors if you really wanted to have a lot of color on your tree. Uh-oh. I better stop. Hang on. I got an issue. I think. I just want to double check that I'm not having an issue with my bobbin. Because, okay. I'm okay. it just looked like it was stuck. You know, sometimes you get those bird nests where your thread gets stuck and it just keeps stitching over and over. That's what it looked like it was doing. So I just wanted to double check it. Okay. Well, I hope you enjoy my live tonight. Hope. Just so you know, the links above, you hope, are there's 3 links. One of them is for this particular design that was in this wall hanging. The other 2 links. No. There is something going on, so y'all are gonna have to give me just a second. I don't like the way that sounded, so I am just going to simply take my bobbin out, put it back in, rethread it. It's much easier to take the time now to do it than to just let it keep on stitching and not like the way it sounds. I'm also going to take out my thread and rethread my needle real quick. Okay, so as I was saying, the 3 links above your name, Hope, in the chat. The first 2 links are for a quilt along that I'm going to be in collaboration. It's a quilt along collaboration with a friend of mine from another channel. Her name is Angela. She runs the channel 1/4 inch seams. It's a free pattern. All you're going to need is 2 charm packs or equal amount of fabric that would equal that many. The pattern is free, so feel free to download it. I will be doing them live. I'm pretty sure for the most part. I'm gonna let that finish stitching out and see if that sounds any better. Oh yeah. Okay. And then the 3rd link is for a site called Designs by Juju, an embroidery / quilting site. So that has this pattern right here. There are 4 panels. This is the 4th panel in the set. Oh. No, I'm not making chicken noodle soup in the middle of summer. We'll see. Maybe towards the end of summer. If you would like, I am in the middle of doing this as a live too. So if you would like, I could go ahead and post this pattern too. Let me know, Hope. This set is a table runner. I believe there's 6 blocks of different gingerbreads. So yeah, I'm kind of obsessed with the hoop designs right now. Okay, did you take your medicine, Jaden? Also, I want to say a huge thank you guys for letting me reach 100 subscribers, for helping me reach 100 subscribers. I know it's not a huge number, and I know my lives are all discombobulated. I am, I'm getting there, guys. I'm trying. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do so. My goal is to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So please, thank you. And remember, when you hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit it and you lock on to where your little bell is a solid color. That way you get all of the notifications for my channel. Hopefully. Sometimes YouTube likes to play around. I am trying to decide what I should make my stitching. I don't know if y'all can see, but this is the tree that we're working on right here. There are little stitches to make it look like patchwork. I'm trying to decide what color I should do. So far, I've got the colors orange in the fabric. I've got red going around the orange. And I've got a pink ribbon. Any suggestions? Put them in the chat. Also, this mug rug that I have lovely, that I taped with packing tape, is a mug rug. Now, I haven't completely finished it. It still has to have the backing put on and then the binding. But I like it, so I just stuck it up there. This is my very first mug rug I've ever made. It's a patchwork heart with some flowers, and it says quilting life. If y'all would like me to post the link to that pattern, let me know. Also, designed by Juju. I say this in all my videos. Designed by Juju is having a huge sale. 70% off all of their designs. So you can literally buy one of these for, I don't know, depending on which one it is. $3, $4, $5, $6. You know, depending on how big, how large, how much stitching. Some of their designs are $2, some are less than $2. So it's really a good deal. Also, when you buy $30 worth of patterns from them, they will send you 4 free designs. This week's, it changes every week. This week's designs are, we're done. Okay, all right, so now we're going to do a quick, I'm going to do a quick thread change, and then we'll go back to talking about Designs by Juju. This is for the heart. There's a patchwork heart in the center of the tree. So I think with this one, I'm going to do, I don't want to do purple. I'm going to do this pretty green just because I can. Actually, I think what I'm going to do is this pretty teal. And then there's a little bit of stitching to make it look like patchwork, of course. And I'm going to do the stitching with that. I only have a little bit left, guys. I'm running short on thread. But I have come to the conclusion that I am going to be posting my wish list from Amazon, Walmart, Designs by Juju, Etsy, and Fat Quarter Shop. I know it's a lot of different wish lists, but I want to have different price points for everybody. Do not feel under any circumstances like you have to go and buy something off that wish list for me. I completely understand how it is if you don't have the money. I also completely understand if that's just something that you don't do. But, you know, for the longest time, I said I wasn't going to. And then I thought about it, and I thought to myself that, what's the harm? There's really no harm in asking and saying, hey guys, you know, I'm a single income family because I am not allowed to work anymore and I'm not on disability yet. So everything falls onto my husband to pay for it. But again, don't feel like you have to. Now, I will tell you that there is a lot of stuff on all these lists. I have been working on these lists for like 3 years. Okay. There's expensive stuff and then there's inexpensive stuff. So, like I said, don't feel like you have to buy anything. I completely understand. But I'm going to thank you in advance if you do. All right, back to Design by Juju. They're having their Christmas in July sale. 70% off everything on their site. There is a $5 minimum purchase to get, I think it's to get the sale price. I've never had just a $5 purchase, so that's kind of not exactly sure. But their 70% off includes, but it's not limited to, in the hoop projects like this one, they're quilting. So that's all their background quilting designs that they have, their end-to-end or edge-to-edge quilting that they have, block quilting that they have. That's also 70% off of all their fonts, monograms, and alphabets. All of their sets of patterns and designs and fonts, and the individuals as well. Also, when you spend a total of $30, like I said, they will send you 4 free patterns, and I will let you know what those 4 free patterns are. It is a mini wall hanging, a mini quilt, a silverware holder, and like a coaster. There's also one more. So there's a in the hoop coaster. I was right. There's a mini quilt, in the hoop utensil holder, and a napkin corner. So, it's a great deal. They also release new releases I believe it's every week. There's been 40 plus new releases, I think this week or this month alone. So, guys, they're great company. No, I am not sponsored. I just like their products. Oh, I see one of their new designs is a little makeup bag type thing. You guys, if you will excuse me, I am going to run downstairs real quick and use my restroom. I will be right back. Hopefully I can get back before that's done. Right back, guys. Don't go nowhere. Oh, it just stopped. Whatever. All right, guys, I'm back. Whew. We made it. I am going to stop this, though. Oh, let's go ahead and let it finish. I like that color. I forgot this particular part of the pattern does all of the stitching. So, all right. I am going to let it finish sitting this blue on this line of stitching. Sorry, I had to leave, guys. You know, when you gotta go, you gotta go. I think I might use a little green on the next one. I think I'm just gonna do different colors on all of it. Maybe I'll use this green. We got this one. I don't want to use red because the outer stitching is red. Let's. That's all the thread I got enough, guys. Can you see? All right, so. Oh, let's see. Oh, no, I want to stop. Stop. Got it. I am actually going to go back so I can stitch those first two stitches there. All right, now real quick, what color do we want? How about some gold? I think that would be pretty. Do we want dark gold or light gold? Anybody got preference? Dark gold or light gold? Pick one. Here's the two shades. There's that one. And then this one is just a little bit darker. And then I have the really light gold. What do y'all suggest? I will wait for a bit. While we wait to see if anybody has a suggestion, I will just trim these little cuts. These little threads, not cuts. Oops. Ooh, I need some new scissors. Any suggestions? And I'm really sorry for the shaky, guys. I don't know what's going on with my. There we go. Don't know what happened there. All right. Any suggestions? If not, I can just pick one. Let's see. We got light. Here, let's do this. I will pull it out. I'll hold it up. And I'll put a string of gold down each one so that you can see the difference. There's the light gold. I hope y'all can see. Without my helper up here, it's hard for me to tell. Here's the next shade. Whoopsie. Maybe. There's the next shade. And we're looking at it against the pink. Okay. And here is the darker one. I'm actually thinking I might go dark. What do y'all think? Any suggestions? I'm watching myself in my computer. Oh, y'all can't tell. Okay, so we're just gonna go with the dark one. Without my helper, it's really hard because I am filming on my phone, so I don't have a way to fix it where y'all can see without getting back up. So we're just gonna go with this dark one. It's just a darker gold. Oh Lord, it's all unwound. All right, here we go. I wish I had more metallic. If I had my metallic, I would use a lot of the metallics in the decoration. However, I do not have any metallic. So, you use what you got. All right, we're just going to throw this back on here and let it stitch out the second row of stitching. And then, let's see what I got. Yeah, I don't have any metallic. I do have some. I will mention, speaking of thread, that on my wish list on Amazon, there are several different brands of thread that I want to try. And so when y'all look at that, if y'all go look at that, then that's why I want to try out these different brands of thread that you can get on Amazon, because prices are high here. I'm sure they're high everywhere, but not everybody can afford top of the line name brand threads. And my goal is to show there are other types of threads out there that work just as well. Now I do have some name brand threads like Isacord, and I have some cotton threads, but for the most part, I just use what I can afford. And for my reasoning is, if I can get 160 spools of thread for the same price as, say 20 spools of name brand thread, I'm gonna do the 160. But I would like to try them out so that I can give y'all what my suggestion is on which ones are good to use. I was going through and I was reading a lot of comments on the different types of threads that they offer, and most of them were pretty good. However, there was quite a few bad reviews on some of the metallic thread. Like some of the complaints were that with the metallic thread, it would rub off, and then you would be left with just plain white thread. And so that is my goal, is to what in the world? My goal is to show y'all that kind of stuff and say, hey, this is what happened, this is my personal opinion. And so that I can actually show y'all, yes, this happened. And if it is true that that's happening, then I'd like to be able to actually show y'all as it's happening, so that y'all can see, for yourself. Oh, I got a bird's nest. That's what was wrong. That's okay, I fixed it. Oh, I see what happened. Okay, let me. Thread is super expensive, as is everything else. All right. Now, let's just go back here. Oh no, I think I might have threw me off here. There we go. It should be fine now. I just had a bird's nest that I had to fix. All right, there's something wrong, and I'm going to check it real quick. I think it's the way my upper part of my thread is threaded. So let's do that. I think somehow or another, my upper thread, this one, came unthreaded in one of the loops. So let's see if that fixes it. All right, let's do that. This. All right, I think I got it now. I'm just backing the stitches up real quick. All right, there we go. Now let's see. Did I fix it? Got it. That's what it was. So when you're stitching these out, if that happens, don't panic. Just usually 90% of the time when your machine messes up or you notice that you're getting a lot of threads nests underneath, or for whatever reason it's just not stitching right, stop your machine, take a deep breath, rethread, take your top thread completely out, take it off the machine or however you have it, rethread it completely. Do the same thing with your bobbin. I would say 90% of the time that works. I should have used the dark green all the way through. I really like it against that teal. Now, for instance, if you're doing this pattern, right? And you have stitched it, okay? Just like we did right here. I'm just trimming all these extra threads, okay? And you've used the color that you're not happy with, or you don't like the way it looks against the other colors. For instance, on the second row here, okay? Or I'm sorry, on the third row, that's where I tried to use that gold. I don't really like the way it looks. Okay, so easy fix. Just put your hoop back in. You're going to back up your stitches until you get to that particular one. All right. And then you're just going to restitch over it. It will cover it. It's not a big deal. And if a little bit peeks through, what's the harm? It's supposed to look like patchwork anyways. So it will literally look like you ran out of some thread and you had to change it. So let's restitch that one line real quick and then we'll get back to stitching the other ones. And we are almost done. Let's see, one of my lines messed up on my 3. Oh well. All right. So it didn't cover mine up completely because I didn't go, with all the mishaps. But it literally looks like I just ran out of some thread and just kept on going with a different color. And I kind of like that. Like I said, it is supposed to look like patchwork. I don't want to miss any stitching on this, so I'm just making sure that I got it right. There we go. All right, now we're doing the stitching on the last tree, which is the tree closest to y'all. And I believe I am going to do this bright green. At least I think that's what I'm doing. But this is the one where you could use 6 different colors if you really wanted to. So I think what I'm going to do is use my green and my variegated orange just because I can. Right. I do see that apparently my heart, I don't know if it did all the stitching on the heart or not. So we'll have to see. I might have to go back and do that, but for the most part, we'll just let it go. Does anybody have any questions? If you have any suggestions on what you would like to see me do, please leave it in the comments. I'm looking for suggestions. You can leave them in the comments below the video, or you could just type it into the chat and I will write them down. If you don't want to put it in the chat, just make a comment below. I'll go back later after the video, after I'm done with my live, and I will look at the comments to see if there's any. I understand that everybody likes to chat. People like to lurk. So I'll go ahead and do another line of that green. Oh, just trying to get comfy here, guys. Oy. All right. Just to let y'all know, I am going to be posting a lot more. I'll be doing a lot more videos. Not necessarily just Christmas stuff, but you know, we've got less than 6 months basically for Christmas, and so my goal is to be able to show y'all different crafts or different projects you can do for either gifts or decorations or whatever, ornaments. One of them is going to be to show y'all how to make a complete tutu outfit for a toddler or a young girl or boy for that matter. That will be Grinch inspired. I'm going to be making one of those jelly roll rugs. I'd like to be able to show y'all how to do one of those. I'll be showing how to do more ornaments. I'll be showing some quilting ideas, you know, quick quilts. So if there's anything that y'all would like to see, I'm also going to be doing a couple of bags and a couple of wallets. I'll be doing a couple of simple things like hair bows. I'll be using things like vinyl, leather, faux leather. Yeah, so it'll be fun. I like to show how you can use different materials, say leather, faux leather, vinyl, whatever you like. You can use that in other crafts. You can use it in cooking. A lot of people don't. So I hope that y'all will join me for that lovely little jaunt. And hopefully within the next couple of days, weeks, I will be moved on to the other side of my room. I'm just flip-flopping for a little better, somewhat of a better space. In the room that I'm in, there's a lot of these up angled ceilings. And so there's two on that side of the room. There's this one. So it's really hard for me to get to an area that isn't so small. And that side worked better for me the last time before I decided to rearrange everything. So now we're going to rearrange again and go back to the way it was. All right, so now I am going to switch to my orange real quick. What in the world? There we go. My variegated, and do the last part of the stitching on this, and then we will be at, I believe, probably stitching for either the heart or the stars. It doesn't necessarily tell me until I'm right on it. It just shows me the colors. Hopefully with my new machine, if I ever get one, I'm definitely going to have one that has a bigger screen and a better picture. This has been a great little machine to start with, but it's time for me to move up to a different model, different size. Yeah, that next set of stitching is going to be different little stars and stuff that are out. We'll just let this finish stitching out here. I'm actually looking for something that I need, and I don't know where I put it. Look at me. This is the last stitch out on this particular tree. And then after that, it will start stitching out the stars. So I will have to change colors. I should have realized that. I would have switched the orange with the gold so I wouldn't have to change colors again. But that's okay. We'll do one star in this color. We are almost done. I am going to stop it there. Change my thread to the gold. I am going to do gold for the inside of the star and yellow for the finishing stitch, the outside part of the star. I thought it would be a pretty combination. We'll see. And I'm not really going to be changing the color of the stars any, so. Now let it stitch out. yeah, that's a big one. I forgot that one was on there. I'm assuming they want this to kind of look like a nighttime. It's not in any of the pictures, none of it's in nighttime fabric. But, you know, I just thought this was cute. I really like how in this particular set of designs, it makes it look like patchwork. Not all prim and proper. It shows, you know, the little extra stitches in there, like you've literally patched a hole. In Santa's sleigh, right here, there's a little patchwork part where it looks like Santa's bag got a hole in it. You know, we had to patch it. So I like the way it's turned out. I am gonna make a couple of more and give them out as gifts. I've got some friends that are out of state. I've got a couple that are out of country. So I thought it would be cute to send to them. So how many of the 5 that are watching, how many of y'all have already started on Christmas projects? Whether it's making decorations or shopping or planning out what presents you're getting or any of that kind of stuff. How many of y'all have started either shopping, planning, buying, or making stuff for Christmas or your holiday season, whether it be Christmas or Hanukkah? Speaking of Hanukkah, is there anybody that is watching that is Jewish? Would y'all like to see some Hanukkah ideas? Would you like to see some small gift ideas for Hanukkah? Would you like to see some Hanukkah embroidery, Hanukkah inspired items? Do any of y'all have friends that are Jewish that need some gift ideas? Because I do know not everybody celebrates Christmas, so I want to include everybody in all religions. Now, I don't know all the religions. I don't know all of the protocols for religions. But if you've got one that's not Christmas oriented, let me know. I am messing around with something down here and I done made a mess, people. All right, we're done with all that. Now we're doing the finishing stitch for the stars. Before I do that, I am going to go back and just real quick clip these extra pieces of thread that got left. The jump stitches. All right, now, I got one right here, but that's okay till I'm done. We've done that, so now we need the yellow. And I just picked this, light yellow. Will it look good? I don't know. But we're going to find out. All right, here we go. We have literally got 5, 6, 7, 6, probably about 8 minutes left and we'll be done, guys. Give or take. let's check our little stars here. Oops. Oh yeah, I like it. Also with this pattern, while we're stitching out these stars, you will notice when you're stitching this out that the pattern for the stars, the stitching for the inside of the stars, it is not a very tight, full stitch like these other ones are. There's space left in it. It is supposed to be that way. I thought somehow I downloaded something, or I had missed something up when I first started stitching these out, because it's not the same type of stitching. You know, there's space in there that lets the background fabric show. So I just wanted to throw it out there that it's supposed to be that way. I'm just going to get up and stretch my legs, guys, while this stitches out. Trying to see where my other phone went. You know, usually I don't have to worry about having the other phone with me because my daughter's listening. She has it. But I actually don't know where it went. Oh, here it is. I'm pretty sure it's dead. But I'm not leaving the room, so I'm right here. If anybody has any questions that may have just come in, let me know in the chat, and I will gladly answer any questions. If you have any suggestions for some Hanukkah ideas or Christmas or anything that you would like to see that you haven't seen on any of the other channels, let me know. Yeah, my phone is dead. Also, I will be showing how I made my in-laws Christmas present. In one of these videos. I'm just waiting on to get the rest of the stuff before I go back to finishing that. It was supposed to be done a couple of months ago, but I had to put everything on hold because I was waiting on fabric, and I still haven't gotten the fabric and thread that I need. So, you know. But it will be done by Christmas so that I can show y'all. It's my take on the Scrabble quilt. I again want to thank everybody that has showed up for my lives. I greatly appreciate it. I know that my videos and lives are chaotic. I'm still getting used to it, guys, and I'm learning every day. If any of y'all that are watching, has an idea or knows or uses a different program for lives, please let me know. Here are my qualifications for that. I needed to, let's switch out our thread so we can finish up here. I think we're going to do red. It's just for these couple of little stitches that are on this tree here. If y'all have any suggestions, let me know. What I need in the program for live is something that's easy to learn and is not complicated to integrate with YouTube. And if at all possible, free. Or if you have to pay for it, I would like it to be not super, super expensive. If possible. We have about 2 minutes left and we'll be done. So 2 minutes left of stitching, maybe 3 because I have to change thread. But with that, let's see, what did I say I was going to use for the stitching on that? I think I'm going to use a dark, maybe a dark purple. Yeah. For that stitching that's on the heart to make it look like patchwork, I'm going to use this dark purple. Mainly because I have a light, it's all light colors. You know, the stitching on the outside is light. Stitching on the heart is a light teal. And then the fabric itself, the ribbon that I used, is light greens, blues, and purples. So I thought this magenta, dark purple, I'm not real sure what shade of purple it is, would look really good against that light blue. All right. Got a couple of more stitches left on the Christmas tree here. Now, once again, you could go through and use different colors for all of the stitching if you really wanted to. You could also go through and make every star a different color. But for the sake of the video, because it's already long enough, I chose not to do that tonight. For the most part. All right. I believe all we've got left is the stitching on the heart. So let's quickly get that done. All right, here we go. Stitch, stitch, stitch. And this stitching only takes a minute. Oops. There we go. All right, here we go. Oh, yeah, looks pretty good against it. A little dark, but that's okay. Makes it pop a little bit. We got 2 more stitches. Wait, 1, 2, 3. We got 2 more sets of stitches on the heart, and then we're done. Now, in the next video for this particular series, for this wall hanging, it will be showing, it'll be showing how to put the background fabric on and how to do the binding on it and trim. If the video gets to be a little long, then I will probably cut it into 2 lives. One live showing how to trim and put your backing on, and then the second live will be showing how to finish it up completely and to put your little quilt tag on, which you will actually have to do before you put, before you stitch your backing on. All right. And we're done. So now is the time that you would take it out, and you're just going to trim all these little extra threads that you got. All right. Then you'll take it out of the hoop and you will trim it. Now, with trimming, you are literally going to trim a 1/2 inch all the way around. So what I mean by that is you will take your ruler, whatever ruler you want. This is a Created Grids 1.5 by 6, I believe. So what you'll do is there's a 1/2 inch line right here. Okay. You'll take that line you'll line it up on your stitch line, which is that outer stitching that we did in the beginning. And that's where you'll cut it. So you want a 1/2 inch of fabric all the way around on all 4 sides. So with that, guys, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate y'all all. And with that, I will see you in the next live. Bye.